Hello, everybody. I've been saying for a while now I'm going to do a little question and answer segment, and I thought I would do that right now. So the first one I have is Mr. Roger says, will I see my finances rise in May? This is May 2021 that he's talking about. So let's see, because I have no way of answering that personally because I have never met this person in real life, so I can't feel any vibes or anything from him, but I can certainly do a reading, and hopefully the cards will tell us what will happen with this financial situation. Sometimes if you tell me a little more than that in the question, I can at least have some advice, but this is a little mysterious, even to me. So let's see. Will your financial situation improve in the month of May? Excuse me. I have allergies and I am allergic to everything. Okay, this is a little bit complicated, so let's unpack and see what we've got. So there's been some dissatisfaction in the past about reaping what you feel you should have gotten financially as compensation for some job. But you are a fiery person in that you are a bit of a go-getter who likes to put things into action. You also have the Wounded Warrior, which is a card about you are a hard worker. You are doing what you need to do. But there's some defensiveness here. Maybe you feel like you've been burned in the past and you haven't gotten this, reward that you feel that you deserve. So there's this dissatisfaction. There's this sense of dissatisfaction. I feel like you're going to make some changes, do some different actions to try to change the situation. Maybe get a new job or maybe do something to change your situation. But you're asking me if it's going to change. I'm going to say there is going to be a change, but you have to do some things to get there. We've got the Page of Swords. First of all, you need to have the clarity about your situation. So especially when we're talking about financial things, you have to know what you're exactly dealing with. Maybe you absolutely do. Maybe you know your financial situation down to the penny, but a lot of people don't. So you really have to look at every bit of money that flows out that door, where it's going to, what your actual bills are, what you owe, if anything, what your income is, taking into account taxation and all the things that you have to spend each month. See if you can cut corners anywhere because it will help. It might seem minor at first, but it will really, really help. But just know what you've got to deal with. And if you're looking at new job prospects or starting a business, just make sure that you have absolute clarity on every single bit of what needs to come in and go out the door. Judgment typically means that you are getting a judgment in your favor. If you deserve that compensation and you have worked hard and all of that, judgment usually indicates that you will reap the benefits of that. Excuse me. And that's a real positive. I always see when I see something like this with the action and the clarity and then judgment, I'm feeling really good about this. It feels like yes, something good is coming in. There are no pentacles here. Well, there is here with the dissatisfaction. So I'm not 100% sure that this has to do with money, but it very well could. It definitely has to do with action. So I'm going to say this has to do with work, and I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, yes, things are getting better. There's nothing terrible going on here. This can mean a journey by water, but in this case, when we're looking at finances, I'm going to say right next to the Wounded Warrior, you've got some baggage about money or personal growth or past jobs that you've been dissatisfied with, and you feel like there's a decision you have to make. Is the decision to leave a job and move on to something else or to start that new business. I have a feeling that's what you're undertaking, but it looks like you're going to have the things that you need to have. It looks like you're going to feel really in tune to everything that you need to have. You know, it hasn't been easy for you. There have been struggles. There have been thoughts that have held you back. Um, but there's a lot of opportunity for you here. You just have to reach out and take it. And you have to feel the abundance of being able to achieve everything that you want to. Don't be deterred by the fact that you've had some problems and not always received what you should have. Because I'm getting the sense that you're a very hard worker and you care a lot about not just your personal finances, but the actual act of working and getting some fulfillment from that. You want to feel like you're doing something that you can be happy to be productive about. This reading is a little bit mixed, but I think it has a pretty positive feeling to it. There's growth, there's learning, there's, you know, sometimes dissatisfaction forces us because of the way we are to become motivated. Sometimes if we didn't have that sense of dissatisfaction or disillusionment, we wouldn't have the same level of motivation. I feel like with this Fire Knight, you're very motivated. And I feel like there's a huge amount of potential achievement and there's going to be this real satisfaction. So I'm going to say that your finances will go up in May. I'm going to say that I'm not seeing any reason to disbelieve it. Or if it's not in May, if you're still feeling dissatisfied, I think it's coming. I think you have to continue to adhere to what you're doing currently. And depending on how that meeting went for you, that you were not too sure of what was happening business wise, however that meeting went for you, if it didn't go the way you want, pursue it. Keep at it. Don't take no for an answer. Have serious determination here. I think you are on the right track. You are on the right track. And make sure you have clarity. That's one of the things I would say. Whatever this is, this decision, and clarity needs to come in. Whatever these thoughts are of yours that have been negative, and you need to blast them aside, do that. I think you're on the right track. I hope your finances go up in May. I believe they will start to, but it's coming in regardless. So keep at it. You are on the right track. I absolutely believe that 100%. So that is one question, one fabulous question. And please let me know what you think of that. And let me know what's happening because I'm very interested. Carolyn asks, I just met a guy I'm crazy about. Is there a chance we'll have a love relationship? So this is always fun when it's at the beginning and you know somebody. I don't know what the parameters are. Is it a friend? Is it somebody she just met? She's crazy about him. Are they actually dating? I guess if you're actually dating, one would think that the goal for everybody is potentially a love relationship. But sometimes it's really casual, and that's not the thing. And you know, who knows? So let's see if we can get some clarity here with these cards. I'm going to just shuffle a little bit because they don't feel quite right yet. But it's a fun stage, you know, that stage of excitement where, you know, there's all this, you know, potential love brewing in the air. That can be a lot of fun. So let's see what we've got here. Is there a chance we'll have a love relationship? So I'm just going to do 3 cards. Let's see what we come up with. Ace of Cups. Uh-oh. Okay, the Ace of Cups is so positive. It's the beginning of love, the cup running over and everything. But this is sadness. This is torment. This is trauma. This is real sadness, really deep sadness. Now, this could be sadness that you've carried with you from the past. So the unfortunate thing about the cards is when it comes to the swords, that could be something we're carrying. It doesn't necessarily 100% mean that it affects this relationship, although that level of torment always will affect a relationship. This is my favorite card in the deck, the Six of Cups. It means a very special relationship, often nostalgic. Maybe this guy reminds you of somebody from your youth or childhood. If you're a really young person, maybe he gives you feelings of family and closeness and special relationship, kind of fun and secretive and childlike, youthful. This is a great card. This is a great card. So you have to determine something to figure this one out based on this reading. You have to decide, do you have a lot of pain and torment in your heart already about past relationships, things that could color this relationship? Can you let go of this? Is this something that's part of you that you can let go of? If it is, you might have a beautiful relationship here. If you are not a person who carries anything with you, if this is just, this could mean just a temporary situation, or, a one-time thing that you're over now. If this is not a factor, then it looks like it could be a very good and fun and positive relationship. But every good, fun, and positive relationship doesn't always mean something long-term. So you have to remember that if you're looking for somebody to end up with, you need to have common goals. Common goals. Everybody doesn't have to be exactly alike, but you have to be shooting for the same thing. So keep that in mind. Think about this reading. See if this is something that is temporary or can be dealt with, or if it's something a bit more deep-rooted. And if it is, even if it is, it doesn't mean you can't get rid of it. You could. So don't think I'm blaming your situation for the way this is going to go. That is not the case here. It's just that sometimes this is something we carry with us, and sometimes it's an indicator of what would actually happen in this relationship. So if you don't have anything tormenting or past baggage, past thoughts that upset you about the topic of love or past relationships gone wrong, if you don't have that, then it would reflect on where this relationship could go, which is not so great. But there is the Ace of Cups, and sometimes we defy what is meant to be. We can defy what is meant to be. I absolutely believe that. People tell me when I say that, they're like, well, then the cards don't mean anything. Well, but they do, because they're telling us something to look at and deal with and tackle. So they actually do mean a ton. It's just that we are powerful beings. We are incredibly powerful beings who can exact whatever we want in the world. So bear that in mind, and I hope whatever it is works out for you. I hope you make things happen the way you want them to. I recommend that when I'm just going to say this completely regardless of what cards were pulled. If something is just starting up, keep it very lighthearted. Don't delve into, oh, this is my dream man or anything. I mean, seriously, just keep it lighthearted, keep it fun, and keep it as casual as you can for a while. And you won't be completely devastated if you do that. You really won't be. And you can handle this. I know you can. So that's what I've got for you with that situation. And I think you're going to be fine. Just don't give your heart to everybody. You don't have to do that to have a nice relationship in the beginning stages. You absolutely don't. So, I've gotten a lot of questions about the beginnings of love, and you're an individual. Everybody who asks me these questions, you're all individuals. You know yourself better than anybody. And you have to remember that. It's important that you remember that you know yourself better than anybody. And if you don't feel you do, it's time to connect with yourself and really think about what you care about, what you believe in, what your goals are. because your dating life will be differently if you just want to have a nice time and meet new people and go out and socialize. That's a lot different than somebody who's looking to get married anytime in the near future and have children. It's two different dating goals, you know? And it doesn't even have to be that dramatic. Some people are looking for somebody to spend their life with. Some people are just looking for somebody to spend tonight with. So you really have to figure that one out as to what your goals are, what your short-term goals are, your long-term goals, you know, because if you want to be with the people who are like that, then you have to try to be upfront about some things from the beginning. I'm not saying on your first date you go and say, yeah, I'm looking for a marriage partner and scare everybody to death. I'm not talking about anything like that. But, you know, just be open about the things you want to do in life, basically. So, the next one I have is Junie B has asked me, well, she said, my boyfriend wants me to do a particular sexual act. Will it improve my relationship? She says. Okay, you know what? I'm not even going to pull any cards for this. I'm just not, because I'm just going to tell you what's what with this situation. Maybe I'll pull them just for fun after. But I'm going to say, if you have to ask the question, don't do it. Don't do it, because if you have to ask the question, you have a hesitation. If you were comfortable and fine with it, you would have already done it. That's what I'm going to say. So follow your intuition, okay? Because your intuition will tell you what's right here. If you can tap into your intuition, you will know what's right. I believe you will. So listen to that, and if you have a hesitation, don't do it. Just don't. Nothing bad's going to happen if you don't. I mean, it really won't. There's always later on that you can do it. When you have a closer, more committed relationship, or when you feel like doing it, or whatever. Like, I'm not one of these people who doesn't believe in gratifying the other person. I totally do. But if you don't feel right about it, there's a reason. And, you know, it's your boyfriend. I don't know if you live with the guy or if you are just dating or how old you are. I don't know any of the other factors. I'm just going to say you will never regret not doing it, but you might regret doing it. So I would say wait and see what happens. You know, I would just wait and see what happens, because whether or not this relationship lasts, trust me, it does not hinge on one sexual act. It really, really doesn't. I promise you it doesn't. But just for the heck of it, let's pull a couple of cards. Okay, that one jumped out. Okay. Okay. So there's nothing too lovey-dovey in these cards. I'm not seeing any passion about love. I'm not seeing anything like this. I'm going to say this death card has to do with you changing your thinking about this. You know, I really would change my thinking altogether maybe and concentrate on investing in your future and not hinging it on another person. Invest in your future, whether it be financially, health-wise. Maybe take your mind off of this for a while. Take a break. You don't have to stop dating the guy. You can date the guy. Absolutely. But concentrate on you for a while. Maybe take up an exercise program. Maybe, you know, work on your diet. Work on a project. Look at your finances. Get your finances in order. See that you have a job that you're happy with. Meet some new people. Just take a different direction. Take a different direction from worrying about your love life. That's what I'm seeing from these cards. I'm not saying it necessarily supports what I said, but we didn't get any cups. We didn't get the lovers. We didn't get, you know, the Two of Cups or anything that would indicate that that's what you should be worrying about right now. I would just say concentrate on yourself. I don't mean that in a selfish, crappy way. I mean, just concentrate on you and your skills and making your life what you want it to be, thinking about your future in terms of things that you can do for yourself, like work and activities. And, if you take up something like an exercise program, that'll make you feel better in general. It'll give you more energy. You'll probably look better and feel better about yourself. So don't worry about this stuff. I mean, really, it's not mandatory to change your sexual behavior right now or do anything you don't want to do. Okay, I just be the person you are and be happy with yourself and be strong and do what you feel is right and follow your intuition, because I know you'll make the right decision. And you don't even have to make a decision this second. Nothing is crucial. Okay, now the next question I totally love. It is so current and something that I hear talk of a lot. Jordan asks or says, he says, my girlfriend says she's a feminist, but she expects me to pay for everything. What do I do? Okay, so I hear this a lot, and let's be honest here. It's a little bit hypocritical when people, mind you, there are definitely different definitions of feminist. So maybe if you want to get into her head, and let's say this is a political issue, it's a social issue, but if you have any real feelings for this person, and you can have an open dialogue with her, ask her what she means by being a feminist. Hell, ask what that entails. Hear her out. See what she has to say. Have a deep, meaningful conversation and relationship with her. See what she says. Ask her why there's a disparity between, you say you're a feminist. Well, feminists are supposed to be equal. Well, what parts do you think it's equal in every other area except for finances? I mean, these are reasonable questions to ask when somebody's behavior doesn't seem in line with their so-called philosophy. But just for fun, let's see what the cards say. So your question is, what do you do? What do you do? I guess that means, should you pay for it? Should you just pay for everything in spite of the fact that she says she's a feminist? Let's see what the cards say. The Emperor. Four of Swords and Strength. Okay, the Emperor is a strong, decisive male figure. Not what every feminist necessarily wants to see, although the Emperor could be within any person. But he's very decisive, very authoritative. He's the guy who makes the decision. And this card is all about going within yourself and figuring out what you want to do next. What do you want for your life? So, do you want somebody in your life who's a little wishy-washy on points? Or maybe you can talk to her and get to the bottom of it. My dog is whining, so if you can hear that noise in the background, I do apologize for it, but it's going to be there, unfortunately. Next time I'll keep my door closed tighter. Strength. You've got inner strength. You don't have to go along with every program that everybody tells you to do. You could say, if you want to be a strong, authoritative male figure, you could say, look, you're a feminist. Let's pay half each. Or how about you take me to the movies tonight? Well, I guess there are no movies right now, but how about you pay for my dinner tonight? Or, I know you're a feminist, but, I cooked dinner for you last week. How about we go to your place and you cook dinner for me this week? Whatever it is, this to me does not say, there is not a single pentacle here. I thought I might get the Six of Pentacles with the guy giving charity, and I would have to then say, oh look, he's paying for things, or something to that effect. But it's the exact opposite. I would say you have the option to do it or to not do it, and if you're not going to do it, I'd be pretty strong and decisive about it. But my real answer is just to talk to her about it and see if there's some kind of an agreement you guys can reach together. Or, when you're in a love relationship, I'm not saying people should change each other's minds. Like, say you go to a party and you're having a conversation with somebody about politics. You both might have your opinion. Chances are nobody's going to change each other's mind about the general things they believe. You might get somewhere with smaller points, but if it's somebody you even have a hint of spending your life with, you have to agree on major issues. You know, you really kind of do. And something like this is a disparity in her philosophy. And so you definitely want to know. And also, just if you want to be really nice about it, you can just say, look, if I am going to uh, be with a person who has these ideas and ideals, then I need to know what the boundaries are. I need to know, you know, what you actually believe. So I understand the program, and then you can decide for yourself whether you want to be involved in that program, because you can if you want to, but you certainly don't have to. So Olivia H says, I've been living with my boyfriend for 5 years. Will we get married? Okay, this is a question that almost everybody who has ever lived together has if they have any desire to get married. So first of all, you must have an idea. This is one of those questions that you probably actually have a good idea of the answer. You probably have an idea if your boyfriend has any desire to get married or not. I'm going to guess. So, and if he does have that at all, does he know that that's what you want? Some people are really pushy about this, and that pushes the other person away. And some people don't say anything, and then the other person has no idea that's even what they're into. So that's also a problem. So let's see what the cards will tell us about, will the two of you get married? Okay. If your boyfriend is one of these two people, this one being a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, and this one being an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. So if he's one of those two characters, if he's this one, he's very steady and earthy. And they tend to like, you know, this is a generalization. I don't know your particular guy, but if this is your guy, he likes to plan. He doesn't like to move quickly. He will not be super spontaneous. Okay? He is disposed to getting married. He will be more on the side of marriage. Okay? If he is a fire sign, he is much more likely to be a party animal, a lot of fun, very social, very energetic, somebody who always likes to put things into motion, spontaneous, okay? Excuse me. So this guy may or may not be into marriage, depending on what stage he's at in life. But if he is, and if he might like to, he could say, if he knows you want to, and if he wants to, he could say, hey, let's do this tomorrow. Because he's very impassioned and not much of a planner necessarily. I mean, he could be. There are variables in both ways. So if he is one of those 6 signs I just mentioned, pick which one of these cards would apply. What makes this hard is that temperance always suggests walking the middle line. So from your perspective, you're saying, will we get married? It's not about you or him. Could this happen? The cards are kind of all over the place. You know, yes, it could happen. It absolutely could happen. If you can if he happens to be one of these two, or pardon me, one of these 6 signs that are represented by these 2 cards, I would say it's easier to determine, because especially if he's one of these, Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, I would say the likelihood is greater. If he is not, and he is Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo, it's not that these people are against marriage. They definitely are, but if you're young, and I'm guessing you are by the tone of your, but I mean, I could be completely wrong. The way I write is like a 16-year-old, and I'm not young. So I shouldn't say that, because I feel very youthful. So I am young, but in years I'm not that young. So if it's one of these signs, it could be different. And if it's one of the other 6 signs, it's not really represented here. But the attitude of these is, maybe Maybe it's showing the disparity between the two of you. Maybe you're this person. Maybe you're this person, the steady one, the one who is wanting to provide for the future, the one who is steady and stable and wants to have something solid, something tangible, the earthy thing. And maybe he is the Aries, say, who, or the Leo or the Sagittarius, somebody who is in hot pursuit of doing, something that requires impulse, or he's a daredevil, or he's a I don't know, it could be anything. He's a race car driver and he doesn't want to get married anytime soon, or he's just a physical young guy who wants to do his young guy thing and hang out with his friends and keep all his options open. I mean, it could be anything. So that could be why it's like this. And temperance always suggests don't panic and don't go off on a tangent. So I'm going to say just kind of wait and see if he's the guy for you. I mean, maybe, I understand you've been with the guy for 5 years. Okay, I totally appreciate that. But if he isn't the guy for you, don't wait another 5 years. I mean that sincerely. If marriage is what you want and what you expect to achieve out of this life, and he's not going to want that, you can give him a chance to try to explain to him why you want it and why you think it's important, and tell him your points. And if everybody loves each other, maybe you can make this relationship work. But you have goals in life, and those goals are important. If he's important to you and he's absolutely against marriage and you're willing to give it up to be with that guy, that's something too. But if it's not the relationship you want, if you're not going to get what you want out of it, then you have every right to make a decision, to not be with the guy and not waste any more time. Sometimes when people do that, I never, ever, ever suggest that somebody, tosses everything aside to manipulate the other person into going along with your plan. But sometimes when you make a decision that this is the path you're on and you have to do what's right for you, and you're not doing it in a mean way, you tell him, look, this is really important to me and I have to have it. I'd like to have it with you, but if that's not, what you're interested in, I totally understand. I'm really glad for the time we had together and whatever. And then you move on. And then sometimes that person decides, hey, this was pretty great. This was what's important to me. And if she wants to get married, I'm in now, So the future can bring all kinds of amazing things to you, whether it's with the guy you're currently with, whether it's with somebody else. I mean, on one hand, we can create the future, but we also don't know everything that's going to happen because other people are involved. But hang tight, figure things out. You probably know more than you think you know. And I'd love to hear about what happens. So please let me know, and what your decision is and how things go. And sometimes these things just require communication. And if you have a conversation, it's amazing where a conversation can take you in life. As long as it's a loving conversation, don't fly off the handle or make any demands. Just have a nice conversation with your guy, and, miracles can happen. They really, really can. So keep sending me your questions. I'm very interested, and I'm very interested in the outcome, so please let me know. Take care and have a fantastic month. This is May 2021. Not that it really matters. These question and answer things are kind of timeless. So I wish you the very, very best. See you soon.